welcome back. It is Bones. Let's go ahead and get into some custom work. Now, this is going to be on the Batman 2022 version of the Pattinson Batman. This is a McFarlane Toys. Now, I did have a couple of ideas that I wanted to do. I also wanted to incorporate some newer stuff that I had never done before. And I have actually been planning to do that for a long time. I just never, pulled the trigger on it. But now I have dipped my toe into this more advanced customizing. And now I will be using it from here on. But we'll get into that right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the changes I made. Now, this is not really a lot of paint, but there is a lot of cool little details that I did. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. Starting off at the head, I did fix the side eye. Now, the main reason I did this is because this figure will actually be going on the Bat Cycle. And then when I pick up another one of these, I'll just leave it the way it is, the way it came in the packaging, unaltered. So this one, since he's customized, he will be the one that'll be sitting on the Bat Cycle, but that'll come in the next review. But let's go ahead and take a look at this guy now. Fixing the side eye, you do get a little bit more range of how you could use the head. If you do want to know how I did that, go ahead. There's a video where I fixed the side eye of Superboy Prime, and that'll give you a more detailed way of how I go about doing that. But now he looks pretty cool. When he looks up in this direction, his eyes go that way. So all in all, that's a good little custom job. Now, another detail I did want to add was, let's go ahead and go down to the boots. Now, pretty much the boots were the only thing that this needed to be done, and that was that first I painted them in a really glossy black, like super shiny black. And then once they dried, I went ahead and used a sealer, but this was the gloss sealer because I have two sealers. One is a matte and one is a gloss. And pretty much I always use the matte because I like that lesser toned down shine. I don't really like it to look, too shiny. But since this was gonna match the upper boot parts, I went ahead and used that shiny sealer, and now they match perfectly to the leather on top. So now they're both shiny. So that was pretty sweet. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the belt and the buckles. I added tons of little silver to all the buckles, even on the back. Even the buttons on the back of the pouches, the little canisters here and the little hooks, added a little bit of silver to all that. I also added a very little bit of silver to the little end of the straps that people think are the gauntlet blades, but they're actually like little straps, but they have like a little metal end to them, so I went ahead and put those in. Now that's all for the paint work that I did. The boots, the belt, and then little details around. Now, of course, let's take a look at the hand, which is a major thing that I did redo. Now, first of all, I softened up the fingers on the pimp hand, the flat hand, and then I sliced all the fingers individually with an X-Acto knife, and then I curled them from the smallest to the biggest, to the pointy finger. And so now they have more like a clasp like this. Instead of being just straight, it's more like a little clasping hand, as you can see here. And then I cut the peg off of the grapnel gun and I stuck it back in the hand, and then I glued it. And once it dried, I was able to drill a little hole in it, and that is where I did add a magnet. Now, I've been looking into this for a long time. I finally did order some very tiny little magnets from eBay. Now, I wasn't sure the sizes or how strong they were going to be, But now that the first ones have come in, now I have something to gauge on future, future ones that I use. So if I need a bigger one or a stronger one, I'm going to be able to go off of this one. But these actually work perfect for this. Now it fit right into the hole, and then I painted it and sealed it so the paint won't rub off. So now his hand is like grasping, and it also covered the hole, and it just has a little indentation where the little round magnet is, but it's painted black, right? And now this goes into where I added the holster that is missing from the 2 straps on his leg. Now I did do this by using like a solid holster. It didn't have any sculpt work to it. It was just solid, like flat, and it was brown. But I did use different little fodder pieces and stuff like that to add some texture to it, some little details, and actually like little buckles and straps that I did add to it. So came out pretty nice. And then I made sure that it would be a little bit wide, because I'm not sure if there's actually going to be later on a sort of gun or whatever. Maybe it's like a canister gun or a gas gun, but maybe that's what's supposed to be in there. But for right now, I actually put the grapnel gun in there. Now I did cut the peg off, remember, to put in the hand. So, but that's pretty cool because now it slides right in there, and it actually fits really nice into this holster. Perfect fit, actually. So hopefully hopefully it is the grapnel gun that goes in there, but if not, if it's like a different gun, then I'll adjust to that. Now, of course, when you take out the grapnel gun, I also repainted that. I gave it some little details, little circular parts of the gun. And if you look at this silver thing right here, this silver circle, that is actually the magnet. Now I was going to paint it black, but then I thought that it actually added a little bit of detail to the grapnel gun, so that's how I left it. Looks pretty cool. And now this is where you line it up here in the hand, and it actually magnetizes right there, right onto the hand. And you could keep trying it, but it just fit perfectly. Like the thumb hits like that outer circular like part of the grapnel gun, and then the fingers cup the bottom of it perfectly. So now when you point it, it's still, you could tilt the hand a little bit, but it pretty much points where you want them to go. And it will not fall off. See, you could shake it and it won't fall off. Now, I have seen people use the magnets for heads and stuff like that, or hands, and that's actually where I got this idea from. But I'm not a big fan of using magnets for heads. I'd rather they have a ball peg. It's just my preference. Also hands, I wouldn't want magnets on there. But for accessories, this is like a cool new little tool that I'll add to my belt, that when I want something cool to just like snap on, we'll go ahead and add a magnet to the figure and to the accessory when it calls for it. So pretty cool little advancement in technology there for the customizing that I do. But it's pretty cool, once you get where it actually fits perfectly right in there. Sometimes it'll even like clank, like make like a little snap, and get right on there. Now another thing that I did do is I found him like a little kind of bat tip for the grapnel gun. Now I did paint that in silver and then seal it, and this actually fits right into a hole that I made into the grapnel gun. And then now you could actually put both together, and it holds it together. Fits really nicely. It holds it, doesn't fall out. You could actually move it, to have him grappling his way out of there. And looks pretty sweet. Really like it. Adding some stuff to my little repertoire of things for customizing. Now, this little that tip, it does actually sneak right behind the holster, and then you could put the grapnel gun in the holster and it all fits in there pretty perfectly. So all in all, this guy's ready to get on the bat cycle or to go patrolling. But you guys keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.